From one Snoopy scandal to another, this week Attorney General Eric Holder on the hot seat and insisting he is not going anywhere.
But to be clear, you're not stepping down now.
No, I have no intention of doing so now.
The Attorney General's credibility is personally on the line.
Come back to the Congress, Attorney General Holder, explain to us your actions versus what you said regarding the Fox News investigation.
I think we ought to subpoena the Attorney General to come back and answer those questions specifically.
Calls are growing louder for Attorney General Eric Holder to step down as Republicans launched an investigation into whether he lied under oath during his testimony on the Justice Department's surveillance of reporters.
He was seriously involved in an investigation of a reporter, with the allegation being that that reporter committed a criminal act. The Attorney General should resign for the good of the Justice Department.
The New York Times reporting even some in the White House are hoping Mr. Holder calls it quits, although they are doing it anonymously.
The Attorney General has the full confidence of the President of the United States and is handling his job very well.
The deadline has come and gone for the Attorney General to explain his testimony about possibly prosecuting journalists as part of leak investigations.
GOP House Judiciary Committee leaders have been trading letters with the Justice Department, though they call the responses from a department official other than the Attorney General himself insulting.
Eric Holder leaves himself open to a subpoena. He leaves himself open to charges of contempt of Congress.
Eric Holder did, in fact, send a letter to House Judiciary Chairman Bob Goodlatte about the targeting of reporters, though it came after the committee's deadline. He missed that deadline by about 2 hours.
So basically it says, I stand by the letter sent earlier in the week.
I have not done a perfect job. I think I've done a good job. The department has not prosecuted. And as long as I have the privilege of serving as Attorney General of the United States, will not prosecute any reporter for doing his or her job.
Is Attorney General Eric Holder going or staying? Congressman Ron DeSantis is on the House Judiciary Committee. He joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Hi, Greta.
In light of what's happened, sir, this past week, and the letters from the DOJ, and even one late from the Attorney General, what's going to happen with the Attorney General? What's the committee going to do?
Well, we're really disappointed because we sent him a letter giving him the opportunity to explain the inconsistencies in his testimony. He had one of his underlings write back to us, so we had to write back to him, and then finally he responded but really didn't answer our questions. So we've invited him to come back and testify to give him a chance to explain these inconsistencies. But if not, I would certainly be in favor of subpoenaing him and making him come, because you've got to be straight with Congress, especially if you're the Attorney General of the United States.
What's the question you're going to ask him if he accepts your invitation to come back?
If you told the truth in front of our committee about Mr. Rosen, why did you represent, why were you willing to sign off on your Justice Department representing to a court that he was an aider, abettor, or a co-conspirator? And I don't think he has a good answer for that. I think they did it because they knew if they didn't represent that, then they wouldn't have been able to get the emails.
And of course, when he said that at the time, it was not in the public domain that they had subpoenaed all that information from about James Rosen. Tell me, if he remains as Attorney General, what will that? Why are you so much opposed to it? And I mean, let's carve out this situation with James Rosen. But why don't you want to be Attorney General?
I just think he has a credibility problem. Before I even got to Congress, the Congress voted to hold him in contempt for his stonewalling with Fast and Furious. You had about 20 Democrats who supported holding Holder in contempt, so it wasn't as if it was a purely partisan thing. And then with all his testimony in front of our committee about the AP, he was never forthright about his role in that. He said he recused himself but could never really remember any details, didn't have a record of it, and now of course we have investigations into the IRS and other important issues, and if you don't have credibility with the public, I just don't think you're in a position where you're going to be able to handle these things adequately. And we have a duty to conduct oversight. We're going to continue to do that. You know, I'd like to investigate and get all the truth and hold people accountable as expeditiously as possible. But if he's still at the top of the Justice Department, I don't think you're going to get the resolution that the American public wants on any of these issues.
Speaking of the IRS investigation, Steve Forbes said that there should be a special prosecutor that would be appointed by the Attorney General. Would you have a problem with him, if there is a special prosecutor, with the Attorney General being the one to select the special prosecutor to investigate the IRS targeting?
I would. I think ideally we should have a special prosecutor. The problem is if the Attorney General appoints somebody who's basically going to run interference on an investigation, that could actually make it more difficult for Congress to exercise its oversight function. So I think we need to continue to do what we're doing on oversight. We're actually getting a lot of information. There's going to be more coming out about links to Washington, D.C. with this whole thing. But what I wouldn't want is to have somebody who wasn't really on the up and up investigating and then have witnesses say, oh, well, it's a criminal investigation. I can't talk to Congress now because I need I was told by investigators that it's a criminal case.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Straight ahead.